Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach, and you're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Coming up, 2015 NFL MVP Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers take on Alex Smith and the Washington Redskins. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
We are just inside the Beltway, about 10 miles east of the Capitol Dome as we come to you from FedEx Field here in Landover. Just as we were getting ready for air, both teams coming out of their locker rooms, out of the tunnel, and this crowd is pumped up as their Redskins get set to match up with Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we look at this Redskin team as they interplay here. And losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Panthers, they too were losers last week, so they're also hoping to get back in the win column.
Something's got to give in this one, right? Both teams want to start a new streak, and they both want it to be a victory.
Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. This fielded a few yards into the end zone, and no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive, and they'll be led out by the NFL's most valuable player from 2015. It's Cam Newton.
Well, his ratio was good last week. Most quarterbacks are really excited about a 3-to-1 ratio, but it's flipped in the wrong direction. He threw 3 interceptions, not touchdown passes, and he only had the 1 TD pass in that game. So he's trying to turn that around and find a way for his team to win.
They go play action here on first down. A dump off to Anderson. Call it a gain of 3, and that'll make it second down. And the offensive starters for the Panthers.
By now, you know I love running backs, and C.J. Anderson caught my eye in a big way in 2017. His first 1,000-yard season on the ground, a little bit over 1,000 yards with 1,007, but over 1,200 yards from scrimmage, so you know you can catch it out of the backfield as well. An exciting runner, a powerful runner, and a guy who can be physical when necessary.
And this is caught. It's Greg Olsen. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. A look at the numbers from last week for Olsen. 5 catches, 73 yards.
And he was able to get open there, but that's not always easy against this bunch defensively. We are deep enough into the season where numbers count. This is #1 rated defense in the NFL. He'll have a tough time.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. A look here on your screen at how Washington's going to line up defensively. Now, they've been a very good unit against the pass, defending at 5th best in the league.
And I'm struggling a little bit trying to really categorize this crew. They're top 10 in the league against the pass, but the bottom half of the league in sacking the quarterback. That doesn't make sense. Imagine if this group ever put pressure on the QB, they'd easily move into the top 5.
Now a carry, it's C.J. Anderson. And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with 3rd and still 7 yards to go.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
They fake the give. Newton. And he's got his man. That's Macklin. And they're able to get this one down to the 25. And give them a gain of 37.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
In Washington territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. They run the counter now. It's Anderson. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
And he's going to bring this one down to right about the 20-yard line. 8 yards on the run, and that cuts us down to a third and about 5.
You've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a second and long situation. It seemed pretty dire.
And this is going to be intercepted. Able to get there and pick it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. He's coming off a 3-interception performance last week, so certainly not how he wanted to start here.
Not at all, but this is where a quarterback gets tested. This is when we find out what he has underneath that jersey. Because he had a bad game last week. Can he shake off a bad start to this one and start to perform at the level he expects?
The Redskins offense now, they head back onto the field. After the interception, here's Smith. Josh Doxson's got it complete. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains. Well, no slow start here. A couple nice chunk plays back-to-back.
I love the momentum that they're showing here early because they did it both ways, right? Threw the ball on first down for a nice chunk of yardage. Came right back and ran the ball. Looks like they've got the defense set back on their heels. Let's see if they can keep this moving.
Right back to him on first down. And he'll get across midfield and into Carolina territory. Tackle made by Thomas Davis. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much, as he's down to the 48. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 3.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Smith on 3rd down. And incomplete on the deep ball.
You absolutely have to have this early on, right? 3rd and short, they elect to throw for it, and that's normal NFL football. They're going to throw on 3rd and short, but you've got to hit it, don't you?
Yeah, in the first quarter, like you said, to set the tone, can't connect there. So on 4th down, the Redskins will call on Tress Way to punt it away. They punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And the Panthers coming out now. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. They'll fake the handoff. Now Newton. And a diving grab. I think he got that. Yes. First time they've hooked up here. Good for 17 and a first down.
To me, there's nothing like watching rookie effort in the NFL. So excited to be there. They're going to give you the max on each and every play, aren't they?
Well, he proved himself on that catch, that's for sure.
I think he may have proved himself to the point where he's going to get a second here.
First down. Here's the run with Anderson. And he might have got this across midfield, not by much. They'll mark it down at the 49. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And he's going to get this one down to the 45. Tackle made there by Zach Brown.
And that was a good run. This was only one of 9 guys to go over 1,000 yards in 2017, and I think you can't let him run wild here.
What do you think, 100 yards, the measuring stick?
Always. That is the threshold. You want to keep him under that if you want to play good defense.
They'll run it. Here's Anderson. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
So on 4th down, kicking it away here, Michael Pilardi. Back deep for the Redskins, Jamison Crowder. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
I got 980!
The first carry for the rookie, it's Darius Geis. Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
I know the game's changed. A lot of people would say it's evolved. Look, I'm a little bit Neanderthal, okay? I love this. No exotic formations, no misdirection. Just line up and run the darn ball, pick up the first down. I love it.
Yeah, 3rd and short, that's what you're supposed to do. Like you said, old school, smash mouth football. Now a play fake here on 1st down. The Panther rush too strong. They get there and take him down. Mario Addison in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10. This Carolina D was 3rd in the NFL in sacks last year.
And sometimes that surprises people when they hear that because who's the dominant pass rusher that you think of putting up double-digit sacks? They do it collectively as a unit and get to the quarterback.
The job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. A shotgun snap for Smith. And this one complete to Reed. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. Out of the gun, Smith. On the catch, it's Crowder. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. And, you know, they were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's, you know, just what they're going through, whether they're seeing different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on.
So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Back to throw, Newton. Looking left side, that's caught by Macklin. Pretty nice move, but not a ton of space there. They stop him shy of the 25. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. Yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Play action, it's Newton. And they get to Newton and take him down for the sack.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
So now Cam leads the Panthers up following the sack. Carolina facing 3rd and long. Now prior to the snap, we hit all zeros as time has run out on the first quarter of play. 0-0 our score. We'll head back to FedEx Field after this timeout.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you and you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
With my good friend Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin with you. It's the Panthers in possession of the football as we begin quarter number 2. They do, however, have a tough 3rd and long coming up. Out of the gun, Newton. And he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively, but instead it just brings up 4th down.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Crowder now to return. When it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt. And it'll be Redskins football now with a 1st and 10. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Hey, I got it! 580!
Geis with the carry on 2nd down. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative. But you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
The Redskins on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. From the gun, here's Smith. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. Here's Tressway now as he's on to punt for Carolina. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line. Carolina getting set to take the field. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
They start the drive with Anderson. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 11. Stepping up, he'll try and run. He'll get 2 on the keeper, but it becomes now a 3rd down.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
The Panthers on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 8. Handoff comes to Anderson. And he'll take this forward only up to about the 7. 3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Here's Michael Pilardi now as he's on to punt for Carolina. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble.
I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it, somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. They start on the ground with Geis. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. Shaq Thompson on the tackle that time.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12. Operating from the gun, Smith. This one caught by Crowder. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
Now, that's going to be a tough one to explain when they get together and watch the game film, isn't it? I mean, they had the right call, had the out route. He's got to know where the first down sticks are, yet he steps out of bounds that close. Not their best play.
And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. Carolina getting set to take the field. Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes a better punter may actually determine the outcome.
Now a play fake, and it's Newton. This one complete to Devin Funchess. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
And he'll take this one for about 4 up to the 40.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
On second down, Anderson. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a third and about 4 for a first.
Not a whole lot of room to maneuver there, and I think that's because everyone took care of their responsibilities, filled their gaps, held their place. No place for him to run.
Yeah, looked good. Everything got funneled to the nose tackle. He swallowed him up. Now it's Newton. And he's got his target. That's more. A gain of 8 and a first down. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff.
Yeah, when we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
Newton now 8 of 11 in this first half. He's got it 1st and 10. From the 50, Newton. He's going to float this one deep right side. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked up by DJ Swearinger. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Oh, man, Brandon, not a real good throw that time. It looked like he tried to put a little too much air under this one, and it turned into a floater. And defensively, this is a dream. He could have fair caught that one. That was way too easy.
Washington as they come onto the field. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
And the drive begins with a run by Geis. And he'll find a little space. He gets this up near the 10. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
I think they're ahead of schedule now after that run. They might be bold with this second down call after that type of a gain.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this one up to about the 13. They give him about 4 on the play, but he's marked short, so it'll be 3rd and about the length of the football. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives them a new set of downs. Well, after an interception, last thing you want to do is go 3 and out, give the ball right back. They avoided that.
Yeah, you definitely do not want to do that. I remember in college I played with a really big-time player on defense. We ended up getting an interception as we passed the offense coming out. He told him, if you don't take care of this football, you have to answer to me later. You definitely want to take care of it, pick up first downs.
They'll fake it. Now Smith. Docks him with a grab over the middle. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. 18 yards the gain for number 18.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
They'll run with Thompson. And he'll get this up to about the 40. In on the tackle there, Luke Kuechly.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
Smith, he'll go over the middle to Reed, complete. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. Smith finding his big tight end Reed for a Redskins first.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
They go play action here on first down. Throw left side complete. That's Richardson. And he's brought down. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
Partner, this is one of the best routes anyone can have in their offensive playbook. Tough to defend because you think it's a go route, and then he breaks it back on the comeback. There's one other thing you need as well.
A well-thrown ball.
Exactly right. Gal, the guy has some precision in throwing the football because of the timing of the route.
And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. Smith will bring his guys up 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. Now a first down throw. It's Smith. He will find Davis on the left side, complete. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. 2 minutes remain in a scoreless first half. Back to FedEx Field following this short break. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Redskins with their first trip to the red zone thus far. This is 1st and goal from about the 8. Again, Smith. And that's off the mark, incomplete. Knocking it away in coverage, Captain Mutterland.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. To the air again, Smith. And his pass, incomplete. Knocking it away in coverage, Captain Mutterland.
Well, one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. And now we get a timeout called on the defensive side of the ball by the Panthers, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. And Hopkins' kick is good. And it's 3-0 as the Redskins strike first. So that drive began at their own 3. They wind up getting 3 out of it.
And to me, the mentality to begin the drive, that was probably the key to everything. Let's just make sure we take care of the football, give ourselves some room, and maybe punt it away. Instead, it started at the 3, and it ended with 3 points.
Getting set to go again here, Cam Newton marches back onto the field. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. Newton to throw. Caught left side by Funchess. And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like right at the 40. Newton finding Funchess for the Panther first down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Funchess with a catch over the middle. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Again, Newton. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. The Panthers going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. So the offense takes the timeout, and they are back out and ready to rock. Newton will bring him up 1st and 10, and he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. Newton throwing again. And caught left side, Olsen. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. Give him a couple on the catch, it's 2nd and 8.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. To the air again, Newton. And he finds a man on a crossing route. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play, but what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
Newton now to throw. And that is incomplete. So we've reached halftime here in D.C. in our nation's capital with a home team, the Redskins, on top. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks. A few teams starting to rise to the top as it's time to take you around the NFL here in Week 6. We'll begin with a couple of hard-hitting franchises. Former division mates, Seattle taking on Oakland. And it's the Seahawks who are out in front in the second quarter. Brandon Marshall, a touchdown reception. From there, we'll head to Cincinnati to check on the Bengals at home at Paul Brown Stadium. And you can see they trail in that matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger has thrown a touchdown pass. Lastly, let's head up to the Twin Cities to check in on the Vikings at home in Minneapolis. And that game level as they take on the visiting Arizona Cardinals. In our game, it's been their new quarterback this year, Alex Smith, with a strong first half. His guys take the lead into the third quarter as we head back to FedEx Field and Brandon Gaudin.
Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these two teams as we come back for this second half. These offenses seemingly still back at the hotel for the first half. 3-0 our score as the second half gets underway. So out now come the Redskins. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
On the handoff, it's Geis. And he powers his way up past the 30. Call it a gain of 4 there, so it sets up a big play here. 3rd and a yard.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Now it's AP, Adrian Peterson. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. At 5 yards on the play there, the drive will continue.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. They run again on first down. Peterson looking for an opening. Not much there. He'll get it to the 39. Tackle made by K1 Short.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. They'll try the air now with Smith. And he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's 3rd down. They got the win last week despite not having any interceptions. Tried to come up with one there, could not. But there's a stat category called PBU, pass breakup. That's important too, and they got one.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it because at least you're there, knocking the ball away. Offense isn't possessing it, making plays downfield. And you just continue to harass the receivers, harass the quarterback, and maybe the big play does occur down the road.
Here's Smith, and this is going to be incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
And this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
no, tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker boards?
Yeah, those two.
And boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables, otherwise they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
They completed the screen on the perimeter, but boy, that was textbook defense. Exactly as you're taught to play against a wide receiver screen, and they snuffed it out for a loss of yardage.
They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a first down.
All that practice time came to fruition on that play. All those timing routes that they work on through training camp, OTAs, minicamp, and just regular season, they got it done on that one. An outcut, ball was delivered, and picked up the completion.
He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
10th carry now for Anderson. And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
And he gets it to Funchess, complete. 63 yards receiving for him now, and that last catch good enough for a first down.
Partner, if you and I were playing quarterback in this one, we would be really confident right now throwing it to him, wouldn't we?
Yeah, he's been spectacular. He's just saying, hey, I was all state. I'll make it rain out here. Newton will bring him up 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. They'll run it now out of the gun. He'll get about 4 here, down to the 43-yard line.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Back to the ground. This time it's Anderson. And he'll take this one down to about the 40. Deron Payne, the big D tackle there to make the stop.
I have to think a major focus at the halftime means had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level to make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip some.
Can fight it. He lost the football. It's out. And the Redskins scoop it. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
And here come the Redskins now. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Following the fumble recovery, Smith. Sliding up, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Dontari Poe able to get in there and drop him for a 2-yard loss. Poe with the Panthers this season after 1 year in Atlanta.
And he will fill the spot vacated by Starlo Tulele, who moved on to Buffalo. Still a big man. Poe lost a little weight last couple of years of his career to increase his quickness. This guy, when he's moving, moves like a cat.
They'll come up after the sack on a 2nd and 12. Smith now to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Richardson. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
And this one's going to go the wrong way, losing yardage back at the 42.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
Here's Tressway now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Carolina getting set to take the field. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line so they felt they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there. It's second down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
Play action. It's Newton. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver, Macklin. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
Newton now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. They give it to Anderson. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 11 more on that one, and another first down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, it just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
In Washington territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. They run it again with Anderson. And this time the yards won't come so easy as they'll, in fact, tackle him behind the line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver, Moore. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
The Panthers on 3rd down. Not quite 50%. 4 for 9. This is 3rd and 7. The shotgun snap for Newton. Oh, did he hang on to it? He did on the dive. Nice grab. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down.
Hey, did you have one of those backyards that you had one of those, like, mats or pits like you have for high jumpers? And, you know, you had your friends throw the ball and you tried to make the spectacular catches?
I didn't need a mat.
you just did it with the ground?
Absolutely.
That explains your
concrete.
Toughness. That explains your toughness right there because I think that guy was raised just like you. What a catch.
Newton now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Back to the ground. Anderson. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Throwing on third down, Newton. Throwing into traffic there, and that's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to fourth down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up, keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. Fourth down, and here's Graham Gano now in the field goal unit for the Panthers. This from 44 yards out, left hash. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now at FedEx Field. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter. And Gano's kick is right through. And in the fourth quarter, this game is tied. This hasn't exactly been a battle of one touchdown after the other, quite the opposite. But at 3-3 now here in the fourth, it's been an entertaining game considering just 2 field goals.
Yeah, is it really a football game now, or are we watching baseball? This feels like a pitcher's duel, doesn't it? Nice and tense on the edge of your seat. Have you been scoring this one? A lot of strikeouts and ground balls in this one.
And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. A look at Washington as they come onto the field and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
To throw is Smith. Throw left side complete. It's Richardson. Past the 20. Touchdown, Washington. Paul Richardson, his second touchdown on the season. And the Redskins are able to strike for 6. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Dustin Hopkins on now to add the extra point. Extra point good by Hopkins. And the lead is now 10-3. Get the connection on the long touchdown pass, and that's one of the easiest drive summaries you'll ever see. One play, touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. On the return, it's Kenyon Barner. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. Carolina getting set to take the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. And he's got a man on the crossing route. That's Moore. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver.
And it's a fumble, and the Redskins scoop it. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
Out comes the Redskin offense now as they get set to begin another possession. And last time the formula was pretty simple. One play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, one play drive's exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was real easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
Yeah, we'll see if it's that easy here. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge. One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Luke Kuechly in there to drop him for a loss of 10, and it'll be 4th and long.
Whenever you see a team deciding to throw the ball on 3rd and 1, as a defensive player, my mindset is we've got them now, and that's why they dialed up the blitz and got after them.
But occasionally, you want to pass it on 3rd and 1. I mean, not a lot for sure, but sometimes just to keep the defense guessing.
Oh, no doubt. You want to break tendencies as you go along with a game because you don't want them to just say, oh, 3rd and 1, we know exactly what they're going to do. But in this situation, as an offensive lineman, as a running back, I'd want to know why I didn't get the football.
Carolina getting set to take the field. And a fumble last time. Ball security. Talk about it all the time in the National Football League. They've got to be better at it on this drive.
Don't you think that when every team gets together for the first time, I don't care if it's OTAs, mini camps, first day of camp in the regular season, ball security comes up about, what, the second sentence of the coach's address?
And there's so many drills focus on that.
All the time, and they do drills to make it even tougher to simulate game situations. Doesn't always work out, though.
Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. To throw again. Newton. That's Samuel. Caught left side. Give him 6 on the play, and that'll make it 3rd down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
From the gun on 3rd down, Newton. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the number one thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. Now it's Crowder. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee.
Pass interference. Defense.
This home crowd, they're happy with that call.
I like the way you said happy there, right? The so-called good guys didn't get a call. They feel like it's been that way all afternoon. You feeling their pain?
They finally got one.
Yes, they did.
That escapes the sack. Now he's flushed out right. And avoids the contact by sliding. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble. Well, there you go. Save your best scramble of the day for a big-time situation in the fourth quarter, picking up the first.
You don't want to use it up early, right? You want to make sure you save it for that exact moment, that key time. And that's what he did, although you and I both know it wasn't planned that way. But what a nice job using his eyes, scanning the field, and realizing when it was time to exit the pocket and go.
They run it here with Thompson. And he'll get 3 down to the 34-yard line. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. And a nice carry there of 15 yards. I guess he was saving his best for last, so to speak. Longest run of the day coming here in the fourth quarter right there.
And that type of run makes for a better night for him and his teammates, doesn't it? To be able to produce this late in the game can lead to some big smiles and satisfaction in the locker room after this one's over.
From the red zone now, Smith. And this is caught at the 8. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
So first and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to bull his way down to about the 1-yard line. That's a gain of 7, and we'll leave them with second and goal coming up. So the solid run on first, and I would imagine no real hurry to run that second down play.
No, it's all in your quarterback now. He's going to keep an eye on the play clock and bleed things down, and he's not going to let the ball be snapped until it's inside 3 seconds left on the play clock.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Redskins. Adrian Peterson, his first touchdown on the year. And the Redskins find a way to stretch their lead. Solid job up front, really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
Yeah, that was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run, end result, 6 points.
Touchdown. Now it's Hopkins to add the extra point. Hopkins with the extra point, and the lead is now 17-3. So the drive there took 6 plays, and it's capped off by a touchdown run by Adrian Peterson. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Now it's Barner. Carolina getting set to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Now Newton. Flush to his right, and he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's second down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
To throw on second down is Newton. Flushed out right. And he'll slide down to avoid the contact. And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. From the gun, here's Newton. And that is incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on fourth down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on fourth down. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
Newton on first down. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. They'll give him a yard on the play, and that'll make this a second down. Fourth quarter, every drive's so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Throwing again is Newton. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Jeremy Maclin, the intended receiver. Third down here.
And we just saw another example. These cornerbacks have played tight coverage all game long. Might start wanting to think about a few double, triple move routes to try and shake their guys free.
They have, you're right, they have had no room to breathe. They'll fake the handoff. Now Newton. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. 7 catches for him now, and this last one, a first down.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway. Now
the question is, can they string a few of those together? In Washington territory now. Here's 1st and 10, right at the 40. Out of the gun, Newton. And he's going to be out of bounds down inside the 20.
Holding, offense.
Umpire threw the flag, usually always indicates holding, and that's what we've got.
And you know, depending on their positioning, where you are on the field, the umpires get different responsibilities, but always making sure no one's holding.
And Olsen over the middle. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. 6 yards on the pickup, and that's going to make it 2nd and 14. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Again, Newton. And fights through one man. Eluding the pressure right. And some Cam fighting. He lost the football. It's out. Into the Redskins. Have it they do.
Brandon, I don't want to violate any of our broadcasting rules by declaring a game over before it's over. But that one, that puts them in real jeopardy there.
Absolutely. It was a two-possession game. It is a two-possession game at this stage in the fourth. They needed points out of that drive.
And obviously now, no chance at all to get those points that they so desperately needed.
Washington as they come onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
On first down, this is Geis. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. This defense, Charles, they have unraveled here in the fourth.
In a sense, it's like they're being pressed, like in a basketball game, and they just can't get the ball over half court. I mean, no matter what they do, they can't get off the field. They can't slow them down. They're just going up and down the field against them. Yeah, unraveling would be a perfect word for them.
Now Thompson. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Again, a run with Thompson. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. He lost 2 there, and it's third down.
And this is an absolutely big third down that's been set up here, partner, and there's no other way to put it. The defense has to get a stop here if they have any hopes of winning this game.
Has to. You said big third down. I'd put the word big in capital letters here. Smith. On the catch, it's Crowder. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. And I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. Here's Tressway now as he's on to punt for Washington. Time for a break, and that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. We're back to finish this one off after this. So it's Panther football as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. On first down, Newton. And that is incomplete. He was looking for the connection with Devin Funchess. That'll bring up second down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield.
False start, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. Second down and long. From the gun, Newton. Funchess with a catch over the middle.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
Well, when you're leading in the fourth quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
On first down, it's Newton. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
So they jumped on the left side of that line.
And you know when you're at the end spot, you're like in the starting blocks, waiting for the pistol to fire and go, and he jumped a little bit too early.
So the penalty certainly helps them out as they come up on 2nd and 5. Throwing is Newton. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Newton to Olsen there for a Carolina first down. Now Newton on first down. And to the tight end Olsen, right side. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost his bread and butter. It's a good running back dive play.
That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. To the air again, Newton. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And before they can run this 3rd down play, we're going to get a timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Newton throwing again. He's going to let it fly. And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. 4th down now.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had to fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. Desperation time. Newton, 4th down. Got his target, Samuel.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
A strong running. That's going to be caught. And he doesn't quite make it. They do stop him, but he gets it all the way down to the 1. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Now whistles. Flag down, and I believe one of the Panthers got moving early.
Offense.
That's going to set them back 5 yards. Boy, they had it at the 1. The false start moves it to the 6 now for 1st and goal. And now movement again, and they'll march even further backward.
False start, offense.
So that'll back them up 5. That false start knocks them back behind the 10 now as they'll try again, 1st and goal. The shotgun snap for Newton. This will be caught at about the 6. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Torrey Smith, his first touchdown on the year. And the Panthers have got it back to a 1-score game. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a 1-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
Graham Gano on for the extra point. Gano the extra point. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. So that drive goes 8 plays. And Carolina scores to cap it off. So with just under 40 seconds to go, you figure this is going to need to bounce their way if they have any shot. And this will be recovered by the Redskins, and that should just about do it. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Down to a knee here. The defense still with a couple of timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them. The Panthers going to use the second of their timeouts, as it'll come with 36 seconds to go in half number 2. The Redskins, they can smell victory now. They take a knee. Now the Panthers going to signal for their third and final timeout, as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go in the game. Down to a knee, here goes Smith, and that should all but do it.
Listen, anytime you take a knee to end a game, that means you've won it. So it doesn't matter whether it's home or on the road, but there's something a little extra special about doing it in front of your home crowd, isn't there?
And the home crowd applauding. They're happy with what they've seen. Chalk this one up in the left-hand column for a win.
Yeah, that's right. Head to the locker room, throw the wristbands in the crowd for the kids, your gloves, your towels. Get to share it with the home team.
One last throw here for Newton. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So for the Redskins, they move back over 500 at 3-2 now on the year. And they'll get to stay put for a few days as they'll host the Dallas Cowboys next week. Meanwhile, for the Panthers, they'll fall to 1-4 with a loss. And they'll look to get back in the winning column next week as they head to Philly to face off with the Eagles. That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew,